Good evening, everybody. Actually, we have roughly 2 minutes to start our next session. That's about creating data flows in Fabric Lab. So just let's check everything that is in order. So let me check. Okay. Yes. I'm I'm just going to stream lively. This is okay from this point of view. And also, yes, I hope it's also okay. And let me show that my screen is, sorry, visible. Okay. Welcome, everyone. I'm very happy to see you all joining today's live stream. My name is Ilkar Zarbaliev. I'm Data Platform, Power BI, and M365, Microsoft 365 MVP, MCT Community Lead, MCT, and Fabric Super User. And in this session, we are going to walk through one of the most fundamental components of Microsoft Fabric, Dataflows Gen 2. So our lab is going to be related to creating a Dataflow Gen 2. However, we will apply data pipelines in this lab. So I would like to give a little bit theoretical information about both Dataflow Gen 2 in Microsoft Fabric and also data pipelines. So let's get started with Dataflow Gen 2. So Dataflow Gen 2 are cloud-based ETL, extract, transform, load, or sometimes it's called like land tools in Microsoft Fabric used to visually extract, transform, and load data using Power Query online. So the key points of Dataflow Gen 2 in Microsoft Fabric are providing a low-code visual interface. It's Power Query Online, connecting to many data sources like databases, files, SharePoint, Salesforce, and Lakehouses, etc. Supporting a wide range of transformations like filter, merge, pivot, unpivot, split, rank, etc. And also, Dataflow Gen 2 in Microsoft Fabric can load data to Lakehouse, Warehouse, SQL database, and external destinations like Azure SQL database, Azure Data Explorer, Synapse. And it automatically preserves transformation steps through applied steps and can be refreshed manually, scheduled, or triggered through a pipeline. This is what we are going to apply pipeline in this lab. And optimize for data preparation, consistency, reusability, and reducing load on source systems. So when to use Dataflow Gen 2? When we need visual ETL, when we want reusable transformation logic, when we want to clean and standardize data before landing it, and when we want a created table or semantic model for analysis or Power BI. There are also some limitations like there is no replacement for a data warehouse, there is no row-level security, and it requires, of course, Fabric capacity workspace. This is all about data flows, Gen 2 in Microsoft Fabric. Now I'm just going to give a little bit info about pipelines in Microsoft Fabric. Pipelines are used to orchestrate and automate data movement and data processing tasks, and they are similar to Azure Data Factory pipelines. The key points of data pipelines are that pipelines define a sequence of activities executed in a controlled flow. They are used for ETL or ELT, orchestration, automation, and scheduling. They're providing a graphical pipeline, just canvas with low code or no code design. and they support two major activity types: data transformation activities like copy data, data flow Gen2, notebook execution, etc. And they control flow activities like loops, conditions, branching, and variables. Pipelines can be run on demand or automatically through schedules and triggers. They support parameterization for reusable ingestion scenarios, and they provide run history, validation, and monitoring. The use cases for data pipelines are batch data ingestion into lakehouses or warehouse or SQL database. And one of the use cases is multi-step process like deletion of old data, copying new data, and running a notebook for transformation. Of also triggering and scheduling data flow Gen2 or notebooks and building enterprise grade ETL or ELT workflows. Last but not least, we have to know the differences between both pipelines and data flow Gen2. Let me give you differences on 3 points. First of all, let's get started with the purpose of Dataflow Gen2, which is virtual ETL for transforming and cleaning data. But purpose of pipelines is orchestration engine for running and scheduling tasks. Regarding Fox, Dataflows Gen2 focuses on data transformation, but pipelines focus on workflow automation and control flow. And last difference criteria is typical output. Dataflows Gen2 gives us clean data loaded to a Fabric store, but data pipelines gives us a complete ETL or ELT pipeline with multiple steps. In one sentence, we can say that Dataflow Gen2 clean and transform data. Pipelines orchestrate, schedule, and automate the entire end-to-end process. So this is the all theoretical information about pipelines and data flow Gen2 and the difference between them. So now I think I can go on with our lab. So the goal of today's lab is not build a full enterprise level solution, but rather to introduce you to the key elements and workflow of data flow Gen2. It's a perfect hands-on starting point for anyone who is getting into Fabric's data engineering and data preparation capabilities. And this lab usually takes around 30 minutes to complete. And during the stream, I'll guide you step by step so you can easily follow along. So feel free to ask questions at any time. Actually, you can type your question in the chat. I will try to answer to your questions. But anyway, drop your question in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them during or after the session. So let's get started after 7 minutes introduction and explore how Dataflow Gen2 help us build clean, connected, and scalable data solutions inside Microsoft Fabric. So now I'm in my Microsoft environment. So I just typed app.fabric.microsoft.com and I found myself in just a Fabric environment, right? So we can check here. This is the email address with excelworld.org domain I have used also yesterday, right? Just kindly let you know that I have shared the necessary links with you. This is the part of Microsoft Learn documentation related to DP600 Fabric Analytics, course. And also, this is in the frame of Fabric Data Days event. And also, I have shared the necessary links with you. So let's get started. So first of all, of course, logically, obviously, we have to build our workspace. So to build our workspace, we can click on workspaces, and here we say new workspace. And let's give a name for our workspace. It's going to be Fab workspace. And here I'm just going to give a little bit description like lab purpose only. And then under advanced option, I have to be sure that trial is selected and I say apply. Thus, I'm completing building my workspaces and I'm in the inside of my fab underscore workspace, right? So the next step is creating a lake house. So to create a lake house, I have to look for create or I'm clicking on ellipsis. I see create and I found or find lake house here. I'm just going to give a name like fab lake house and I have to be sure that the location is fab workspace that has I have created a little bit moment earlier. So I say create, and by the way, I have to be sure that this lakehouse schemas is disabled, not checked. Now I'm inside of lakehouse that I created a little bit earlier, and here in the Explorer lab, I see my tables and files. Actually, there is no information. And by this time, I have successfully created SQL Analytics endpoint. Actually, in yesterday's lab session, I have talked a little bit about this one, if you remember. So now, what are we going to do? We are going to create a data flow that will help us to ingest data. We will ingest data from GitHub. So for this purpose, as I'm here right? Inside of Lakehouse, I see get data button here. So I'm clicking on drop down and select new data flow Gen2. And let's say that uh, automatically data flow one as a name, data flow name is given to my data flow. And I say I'm leaving like this and say create. Thus, my data flow is going to be created. Okay, so if you pay attention here, I have my options like getting data, for example, importing data from Excel, from SQL Server, from text CSV file, and from other data flows. Most probably, you will see your ribbon like this. If you see like this, you can expand it, right? It's okay. So I'm just going to import my file, I mean CSV file. So I'm clicking here and I see this window, right? Taking an opportunity, I'm just also going to share the GitHub link from where you will be able to, just let's say, download your data, right? So let me go back. Let me go back here. Now, what I'm just going to do, I have to be sure that this option is selected, link to file. And here I'm going to paste my URL. This is my URL. And here I'm just going to click on edit connection, right? And I'm going to create a new connection. And for connection name, I'm just going to give like Lakehouse or something like this. Okay, or I can give any name. Just let me give this one Lakehouse, and I'm going to leave blank data gateway, right? And regarding authentication kind, I'm just going to leave it like anonymous. And price level is none. And now I'm clicking on next, and I see this one, right? So what can we say? We are going to preview our data. This is a CSV data, and I say create, right? And so here, we are going to find ourselves in Power Query Online, right? So we see the diagram view. And actually, here we have our diagram view. We can, just pay attention movement of my mouse. I can click on this to view, I mean, to get the diagram view, or once again, I mean, the next click will, hide this one, I mean diagram view. So now I would like to make some simple transformation like adding a custom table like must know. So for this purpose, I'm going to add column and say custom column, and I'm going to give must know as a say custom column. And for data type, I'm just going to select whole number. And here I'm going to input my language formula. It's going to be date, month, and opening closing parentheses. And here between them, I'm going to select this order date and say, okay. Thus, a new column is going to be, just added. I have to be sure that the, you know, that type of this column is whole number, which is correct in my case. And I have to be sure that this is date calendar. So if I click on this, we see it's date. Can once again, select this date. And if I'm going to expand, this one, I see one change type, column type one has been, added, right? So I have completed, the simple transformation in my, Power Query Online that is related to data flows. So now the next step is going, is going to be also related to data flow, but this time I'm going to add data destination for my data flow. Just pay attention here. I see my data destination, which is lake, right? So, uh, and let's go back to home. So if we would like to add destination, we have to come under home tab in the group of data destination. Here, drop down, we see add and remove. Add is grayed out. It means that it has, by default, automatically, identified its destination, right? Let's say that we would like to add one more time, once again. So I'm just going to do it here. So I'm going to click, this X button here. Thus, there is no destination. And if I would like to add one more data destination, so I'm just going to click on, this button. And here I'm just going to select, Lakehouse. And thus I see this, window. And this is the Lakehouse. And once again, I'm here going to select create new connection, right? And I have signed using my credentials. And my connection name is going to be Lakehouse, data gateway, this one, this organizational account. And I say, next. Let's see what's going to be appear on my, window, which is good. New table, existing table, and new file. Here, just pay attention. I see my table name orders, actually the name of my table that I uh, ingested from GitHub using my data flow was called orders. And here I see please select a container for the new table. And I have to add this orders table into my lakehouse that I created, right? So here I'm selecting this fabric workspace, and I'm going to select once again. So pay attention, a new table will be created in fab underscore lakehouse, which is perfect. And I say next. Okay, now here I'm just going to disable this one, use automatic settings. And regarding update method, what I'm just going to do, I'm going to append my data. So I say save settings, and thus, it's going to be saved. And here also, I can click on this button, diagram view, and I can see the, steps that I see here in diagram view. So the next step is going back to home. Actually, it's selected. And here I can save and run this data flow. Actually, we are coming, close to the end of our session, but there has been left in one, step. This is about adding a data flow to a pipeline, as I mentioned in the beginning of our session. So first of all, I'm going to hide this diagram. So just let's click here, or I can do it, from via view. So here I can also, select this option just to display it in diagram view. So now we are, the next step should be like adding a data flow to a pipeline. So for this purpose, I'm going to my Fab workspace. This is my workspace. And here you can find our data flow, our lakehouse, and I see new item. And here I'm going to click on this and I'm going to add, pipeline. Say pipeline, and I'm going to select this one, ingest data at scale and schedule data workflows. And thus, a new, pipeline is going to be added. And I'm leaving this name, pipeline one, and say create. And I'm going to see interface of my data pipeline. Here I have my lakehouse, data flow, and pipeline. And I see pipeline activity, copy data assistant, practice with sample data and templates, right? So here I have my, pipelines activities. So, and I have my data flow. So I'm going to select this one or click on data flow. Thus, the data flow that I created and named data flow as named data flow one is going to be displayed here. While it's selected, I'm going to select these settings. And here I'm going to select my available, data flow. And of course, after all of this, under Home tab, I'm going to save and it's going to be saved. And the last one, last action will be just running this, data pipeline. It can take a couple of moments or minutes, so let's wait for this. Just pay attention. We'll see something here. The activity list is currently refreshing, and just have a look. Cute. Yeah, it means that it's in order. So we have to see, they succeeded or successful, something like this starts over there. And let's wait for a while. And of course, after this, we'll go back to our lakehouse and we'll do some refresh over there. So, but we have to wait, right? So let's wait. It's still in progress. And let's see. Let's see. It's in progress. And the duration is also written here. It's 47 seconds. So, and time and date is also shown here. So, yeah, we have to wait, to be honest. But actually, what we can do, we can also leave it here. We can go to our, Fab workspace, and we'll see there that one more Fabric components has already been added to our workspace. So, succeeded, which is good, and it took 1 minute, 0 second. So if we go to our Fabric, just a space, we see our pipeline also here. But we have to go back to our Fab underscore Lakehouse. This is our Lakehouse. So here, I'm going to select my table ellipsis and I'm going to say refresh. And the table is going to be refreshed. And of course, we can also, just expand our orders table just to see all the information like columns in this table. And yes, so So we see all the, let's select, and of course, in table view, we'll preview our data. Thus, we have completed building Dataflow Gen2 in Fabric and adding them, into the data pipelines. Just, I would like to give, let me, refresh for one more time, and we can close this one. Okay. So, succeeded this one. So, what we can do, or what we can, do, it's a little bit about, it's something like tip in Power BI Desktop. Let me open Power BI Desktop, and I will just show the way from where we can, use these data flows in preparation of our, data, reports. So just pay attention. First of all, we have to be sure that we are signed in using the same address while we were building data flows. And from get data, we can, just let me select more and say data flows. And we can use either, Microsoft Fabric data flows, or from Power Platform, we can use Power BI data flows, or this one. So thus we'll get an opportunity to use these data flows, right? So this is all about today's lab session. Now it's time just, to say, let me tell you, or just to clean our resources. But just we have to be sure that, let's go back to our Fabric workspace here. Just for one more time, we can go to our data flow. We can, refresh our data flow, and also we can refresh our pipeline. So just I hope, let's go to our Lakehouse also. Actually, we were in our Lakehouse. So just here, we can see that the data flow has been already, succeeded. So now I would like to, just to stop sharing my screen, and to ask you something, or to give you about the next, say, lab sessions. So let me share also this info with you. So let's say that in next days, or in next just a week, I'm going to uh, I mean explain or demonstrate this lab that is about ingestion data with a pipeline in Microsoft Fabric. Actually, pipeline should be before the data flow, but anyway, I explained in this, video how to, what the pipeline is. I hope I will also, repeat it again in my next session. So I kindly ask you to, become member of my Azerbaijan Power BI and the Microsoft Fabric community. November, 27, I'm going to host a session that's about data science and machine learning solutions in Microsoft Fabric. Linda Larkham, who is MTT, Microsoft technical trainer and Microsoft certified trainer from Microsoft, is going to, talk about this. I'm going to I'm going to share the necessary links over here. So I kindly ask you to just become a member, to subscribe to my meetup group, and also you can find the necessary, recorded videos from my meetup groups, from my say YouTube channel. I have also shared my channel in the chat. So thus, I would like to complete. And if you have any question, please just share your question in the chat, and see you, in next in next say lab sessions. Thank you and look forward to